Hi, dear students, dear teachers. Today we are going to study Lessons 3, Theme 5, Lesson 24. Okay, as you know, before I start a lesson, I should go over vocabulary items. So let's listen and repeat after me, okay, after the pronunciation. Yes, certificate from. Mhm. Chattanooga. Listen carefully, write clearly. Okay, these are the words for this section. Sorry. Okay, let's start with listening and reading. Then listen and read, then match these words from the article to their meanings. Equipment, don't forget, team, event, and award. A group of people who work or play together, something planned or important that happens, a prize, things things that we need to do something. Okay, let's start listening. Listen carefully. Good, good. Cheerleaders. You see the girls. Good. Yes, let's watch the video as well before we start answering or matching, let's say. Graduation. You see graduation. Mm. Yes, let's go back. You see the words and the definitions of these words, so we have to match them. Equipment, a group of people. In Turkish, we have a similar word, ekipman, in Turkish. So we have to think about which one. Okay, things that we need to do something should be equipment. Team, team, you know, football team, basketball team, volleyball team, remember. So must be people. Which one? A group of people who work or play together. Okay, event, event. Something planned or important that happens. That's the answer. And the last one, award, prize, say, for example, Oscar. What else? MVP for basketball, for example. That's a prize. MVP. To be an MVP, they give a prize or an award. Sorry. Yes. Bravo. Okay, read the article again and answer T for true, F for false, or NG for not given. American students think that their high schools are better than schools in other countries. Not given. We don't know. That's given the answer. How do we know? You see here. The text doesn't mention that what American students think about their schools. It says here are five things that make American high schools popular with students from around the world, not from around America. So, two, volleyball isn't very popular in high schools in the USA. Think about three sports, okay? So let's have a look. For example, popular sports. Yes, there is the answer. There is the answer. Volleyball isn't very popular in high schools. Isn't very popular or is very popular? Very popular. No, false. It'd be false. Cheerleading teams never take part in competitions. Cheerleading teams never take part in competitions. Remember, try to remember, okay? The answer is here. Do they take part in competitions? Cheerleading teams never take part in competitions. Yes, they take part, let's say. So that's false. All high school students are given awards when they leave school. All high school students are given awards when they leave school. Let's try to remember. All or some? Some. So the answer, all high school students are given awards. All, some. So that's false. Teachers, five. Teachers don't go to the parties at the end of the school year. Not sure. The text mentions that students say goodbye to teachers at graduation and they have a party, but it doesn't say if the teachers go to this party or the prom. So the answer is obvious. Teachers don't go to parties at the end of the school year. Should be, it's not given. Not given. Not given. Going to an American high school is never fun. Going to an American high school is never fun. Think about these sentences. Then they have a huge party to celebrate the end of high school. They have the time of their lives. Going to an American high school is never fun. False. Fun. Collaboration and creativity. Work in small groups and create your dream school. Think about your dream school. What subjects would you study there? Geography, history, English, music, or art, let's say, physical education, IT, okay, information technology, say. What would it look like, for example, outside of the school? Will there be any sports fields? Will there be any libraries, any laboratories, labs, let's say? So, is there anything that schools in the USA have that you would like your dream school to have? Yes, sports fields for me, for example. I like sports, doing sports, let's say, playing basketball, playing football, volleyball, and so on, and ping pong, table tennis. So they have these alternatives in their schools. They have the fields, they have the gyms, let's say, in the gyms. They have the necessary equipment there. So these are the things I would like to have. Okay, let's go on. Label the pictures with these nouns: cheerleading, graduation, remember them, high school, prom, sports field. So the easiest one is this one, I think. Which one? Sorry, I couldn't drag. Sports field. So cheerleading is the second easiest one. Cheerleading, which one? Yes, this one. Graduation. Remember the cats. Okay, so this is the graduation. High school, high school, high school should be this one. And prom is the last one. Prom. You have fun there. Let's go on. Complete the sentences with these adverbs. The verbs in bold will help you. Can listen and check your answers. Martha always listens carefully to her teacher. We all danced at the prom. Everyone cheered when the team scored a goal. Cheering. Please write in your notebooks. The players ran around the sports field. Jen shouted at Simon because he had taken her phone again. Okay, listen. Yes. Two. Yes. What's the answer? Happily. Everyone cheered loudly when the team scored a goal. Please write clearly in your notebooks. Clearly, so that we can read. Five. The players ran quickly around the sports field. So the last one, okay, angrily, the last one. So these are the answers, okay? Comparative forms. My school is older than my cousin's school. Football is more popular than. Older than, old, one syllable, so ER, then. Popular, popular, okay? Popular, three syllables, so we use more. Football is more popular than basketball in the UK. Haley runs faster than. Fast, one syllable. Faster, faster than. Sam swims more slowly than Kyle. Slowly, two syllables. So we use more slowly than Kyle. Not as adjective as. This lesson is not as interesting as last week's. Not as adverb as. So we use, for example, adjectives with uh, noun sentences, let's say. And we use adverbs for the sentences that include verbs. Okay, Susan walks or does not walk as quickly as Lee. So, adjective that they were so tired that they stopped running. So tired, tired, so plus adjective. Don't forget. Such adjective plus noun plus that. It was such a nice day. Not so a nice day, but such a nice day that they had lessons outside. So, next one. Yes, circle the correct words. Diana listens more carefully, not carefully, than, because we compare two things, two people, let's say, than her sister. Mr. Dick isn't as good at driving than as. Which one? Than or as? As, it starts with as, so should end as. Okay. Mr. Duke isn't as good at driving as Mr. Graham. It's such a, which one? So a, such a, such a good school that everyone wants to go there. Is your brother taller or as tall than you? If you see then, you have to use more or taller or er. So here we have taller, taller than you. Can you run? Can you run more quickly than? Which one? More quickly than you did earlier. The exam wasn't longer than? No. So we see as long as. Should be as long as I thought it would be. Seven, seven, seven. We were such so happy that such a no. So we use so happy that we couldn't stop smiling. Sue thinks maths is as difficult then. If you see then, should be er or more. So we use more difficult than physics. Okay, work in pairs, take turns to compare these activities. Use the adjectives and the phrases in the box to help you. Boring, creative, difficult, easy, exciting, fun, good, popular, useful. Making comparisons. For example, PE is much better than history. I like PE, but nowadays, as I get older, history is much better than PE, in my opinion. I like reading history books. That's why. Taking exams is a lot more difficult than writing essays. That's true. Taking exams is a lot more difficult than writing essays. French is far better than maths. Art is a bit easier than English. Geography is slightly easier than history. I don't think so. Uh, in geography, you have a lot of mathematical, let's say, mm, formulas. But in history, you don't have. Learning in a classroom, learning online. I can say uh, learning in a classroom is more boring than learning online. Writing essays, doing projects. I can say, in my opinion, for example, uh, writing, no, doing projects is more creative than writing essays, in my opinion. Going to a prom, going to a graduation. Going to a prom is more exciting than going to a graduation, in my opinion. Okay. Playing basketball, doing karate. Yes, you can say. Doing karate is more difficult than playing basketball. You have to be strong, patient, and quicker than your opponents, for example. Having music lessons, having history lessons, uh, having music lessons is more fun, in my opinion, more fun. You cannot say funner, uh, more fun than doing karate, no, having history lessons. Playing games on an app, doing exercises in a book. Playing games on an app is, you can say, more fun than doing exercises in a book. You can use these ones far, a bit, slightly, much better, a lot more difficult. For example, uh, doing karate is a lot more difficult than playing basketball. Going to a prom is uh, much more fun, let's say, much more fun going to a graduation. Use this kind of expressions, okay? Now, we are skipping this as well. I'm giving you some examples. Yes, game, memory game. That's right. Dance happily, school canteen. Dance happily. That yellow backpack is larger than the purple one. Oh, school canteen. No. Let's see this one. This one was this. Yes. Shout. No. This one. Portsfield. This one. Shout angrily. This one. No. Sorry. This one. High school. This is school canteen. Okay. Let's go back to, sorry, 24. Yes. Grammar. 24 grammar. Yes. Harder than ball. Hit the ball. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Let's go on. Comparative forms. Let's try to study these comparative forms. We use the comparative form of adjectives and adverbs. In Turkish, we say adjectives sıfat. Adverbs zarf. Okay. To compare two people, animals, or things, or the way they do something, we often use then, after the comparative form. For example, the new gym is better than the old one. Basketball is more popular than rugby in the USA. He trains harder than the rest of the athletes in his team. She cheered more loudly than me. Okay. When an adjective has one syllable, we add er. Deep, deeper. Small, smaller. These are regular. When an adjective has one syllable and ends in e, we just add r. For example, safe, e, safer. Wide, e, wider, wider. When an adjective has one syllable and ends in consonant, vowel consonant, we double the last consonant and add er. Big, bigger, double G. Hot, double T, hotter. Okay, let's go on. Other comparative forms as adjective, adverb, as. Biology is as interesting as maths. Emma dresses as beautifully as her sister. Remember, adverb, we use adverb with verbs. If there is a verb, we use adverb. If there is am, is, are, was, were, been, and so on, we use adjective. Don't forget. Okay, now biology is as interesting as maths. Emma dresses as beautifully as her sister. Beautifully, adverb. Interesting, adjective. Brad is not as tall as Tess. Is tall, adjective. Pedro doesn't fly as fast as Alpha. As fast as fast, adverb. He, he we use adverbs with verbs such as fly, play, write, and so on, or speak. So, not as adjective, adverb as. Brad is not as tall as Tess. Pedro doesn't fly as fast as Alpha. So, plus adjective, that. He was so busy that he didn't have time for lunch. Such adjective, noun, phrase, that. We were having such a good time that we stayed until late. So, watch out. We do not change the form of adjectives and adverbs when we use as. We don't change. We don't put something at the end or at the beginning. He is as good as maths as his brother. He is as better at maths as his brother. No. Kevin doesn't train as hard. Hard, adverb. Train, verb. As hard as Ben. Kevin doesn't train as harder as Ben. No. Okay. Let's go back again. Sorry. 24. 24. We've finished this one. Sorry. Have we finished? No. This one as well. Yes, complete the sentences with the comparative form of the adjectives in bold. Mark is 1 meter or 1.60 meters tall. 1 meter 60 centimeters, you can say. But Paul is 1.75 meters tall. Paul is taller than Mark. My cat is pretty, but my neighbor's cat is very pretty. My neighbor's cat is, we are comparing two cats. Is, yes, prettier. Pretty, I know there are two syllables, but pretty, prettier, not more pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. One syllable, so you can say. Mr. Sims is always kind, but Mrs. Mr. Thomason isn't always kind. I think Mr. Sims is, you have to know these, kinder, kinder than Mr. Thomason. My hair is long, but Kelly's hair is very long. Kelly's hair is longer than my hair. This box is big, but that box is huge. That box is, yes, bigger, bigger than this box. My friends want to play volleyball, but studying for maths test is important. My maths test is important. Three syllables. So, more important. Let's go on. Read and complete the sentences with the comparative form of the adverbs in brackets. Don't forget. We have verbs and we use adverbs. Kim runs 100 meters in 15 seconds, but Emily runs it in 13 seconds. 13, yes. Kim runs more slowly than Emily. Emily runs faster than Kim. Dan writes fast, but he makes mistakes. Simon takes longer, but he makes fewer mistakes. Dan writes quickly, so we use quickly. We use more quickly than Simon, but Simon writes carefully, carefully. So more carefully. Simon writes more carefully. Amy has a loud singing voice. Sarah isn't loud, but she has a lovely voice. Amy sings loudly, loudly, more loudly than Sarah, but Sarah sings, sings beautifully, beautifully, sings more beautifully than Amy. 4. Jack's drawings are hard to understand, but they are creative. Sam's drawings are clear, but they aren't very creative. Jack draws creatively. Okay, more creatively than Sam, but Sam draws clearly, clearly, more clearly. Okay, let's go on. Write sentences use not whenever you need, as. Swimming, popular, volleyball. Okay, so we use as popular as volleyball. Online videos, interesting films. This is negative, so we have to use not. Yes, online videos are. Online videos are because interesting is an adjective. Online videos are, are, as, are not. Don't forget, negative. Are not as interesting as films. Aren't, are not. No, no problem. You can use both. As interesting as films. Laptops, useful smartphones. Okay, so it's positive. Laptops, yes, laptops, plural. Laptops, useful, adjective. Laptops are as useful as smartphones. Okay, London, sunny, Madrid. Negative. There is a cross. Negative. London is, sunny is an adjective. London is not negative. London is not as sunny as Madrid. Isn't, no problem. 5. Dad cook well, mom. Okay, so positive. Dad, verb, cook. Dad cooks as well as mom. Cooks because that he and simple present tense. Jim writes slowly, carry negative. So Jim writes simple present tense verb. So what do we use in negative sentence? Jim, he, Jim, yes, think, Jim writes negative. So what do we use? Jim doesn't or does not write as slowly as Carrie. Let's go on. Match, then join the sentence with so that, such that. Write the new sentences below. Okay, I had a bad cough. D, I made an appointment to see my doctor. It was an exciting basketball match. Cheered, I cheered all the time. You can say, we had a great holiday. Holiday, look at the sentences. We decided to stay one more day. I didn't finish it. Eh, we had a great holiday. We, not I. So you can use a. It was cold outside. It was cold outside. So when it's cold outside, what do you do? Which one? This one. I wore gloves and a hat. Okay, the food was delicious. The food was delicious. So which one? I asked for some more. I didn't finish it. Yes. I asked for some more. The book was boring. I didn't finish it. When you look at these sentences, you can change using so that and such that. For example, I had such a bad cough that I made an appointment to see my doctor. That's one example. It was an exciting basketball match. F, I cheered all the time. It was such an exciting basketball match that I cheered all the time. We had a great holiday. We had such a great holiday that we decided to stay one more day. It was cold outside. It was so cold outside that I wore gloves and a hat. The food was so delicious that I asked for some more. The book was so boring that I didn't finish it. These are the example sentences using so that and such that. Don't forget. Try to be careful and think about these sentences, how to match them, and how to create new sentences. Okay? So let's go back again. Sorry. One more page, I suppose. There is one more page. Yes, this one. Yes. Read the dialogue and choose the correct answers. What do you think of online learning? I love it. I think it's better learning in a classroom Really? Why? Online learning is than classroom learning because you can choose. uh, you have to go down. Okay, let's go one by one. For one, what do you think of online learning? I love it. I think it's better. Yes, than. Better than. Really? Why? Online learning is better than classroom learning because you can choose because we have then should be comparative as no more uh, more what more difficult more let's say more exciting. It doesn't have, so we use better. So free, let's go down a little bit. Free, yes, but being in a classroom is interesting than. Interesting than. So what do we use? Interesting. Interesting. So we use more. Three syllables. Okay, four. Then sitting interesting than sitting at home on your own. You're with other students and you can work in groups. Ben, I know, but some students can't get to school easily as other schools. So four should be as as easily as other students. Let's go down. They may have a health problem or live a long way from the school. For them, classroom learning is more difficult than than online learning. I haven't thought of that. I read an article about online learning the other day. About 50% of students around the world have online lessons and 70% prefer them. They say they can work as quickly as they want to, or as here as something adjective, no, adverb, as slowly. Adverb should be adverb, not slower, because as slowly is the adverb because we have the work. With work you can't use adjective as they want to. They also say they can easily remember things easily then. So should be more easily. Yes, let's go on. Now talk about it. Work in pairs. Compare the summer courses with your partner. Use the adjectives to help you. Boring, easy, exciting, hard, interesting, long, old, short, young. Now look at the example. The tech course is shorter than the acting course. 28th July, 5 days, tech course, 500 euros, 12 ages from 12 to 14 years. The classes, 50-minute classes from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Coding, robotics, and video game design. Work in a team to complete creative projects. Acting course, 10th of August. It starts on 10th of August. How long will it last? 2 weeks. How much will it cost? One 1,500 euros, and from 15 to 16 years old. 2 hour classes from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Acting, singing, and costume design. do rehearsals, and perform at the end of the course. The tech course is shorter than the acting course. So when you look at the cost, for example, which one is no boring, easy? We have to use those anyway. I thought which one is more expensive, which one is more no, which one is cheaper. Anyway, for example, I can say tech course is cheaper than the acting course. I can say that. So I think I think tech course is easier than the acting course. But the acting course is more interesting than the tech course, in my opinion. Uh, the the students, for example, for acting course should be older than the tech course students, let's say. Um, what else? For example, tech course is harder than acting course, in my opinion, because you have to learn coding, robotics, video game design. It needs a lot of creativity, not creativity, but a lot of uh, analytic thinking, let's say. What else? For example, acting course is more exciting than the tech course. But in my opinion, tech course is as exciting as acting course, in my opinion. Okay, you have to think about these sentences and talk with your friends. We have finished the student book and the grammar. We came to the workbook. Now let's have a look at the vocabulary first. Now remember cheerleading, graduation, prom, school canteen, and sports field. Hi Annabelle, I'm sorry it has taken me a long time to write to you, but I've been really busy since we arrived in the USA 2 months ago. Let me tell you my news. I was worried about starting high school in September, but it was okay. I enjoy it and I made lots of new friends. One of them, Jade, lives in the same route as me, so we walk to school together. We also eat lunch together in the where? Where do you eat something? In the school canteen. Okay, Jade has a sister called Kiribi, who is in her last year. She's already thinking about her what? About her last year, remember? So very close to graduation. No. From prom. Hmm. I thought graduation came before prom. That's why I thought graduation. She has chosen her dress, and she says she'll be arriving in an expensive car with some of her friends. Gaby will also be having her graduation, I can say. Graduation in the summer when she gets her school certificates. Okay, the other things we'll see. Match to make sentences. The words in bold will help you. The fans cheered loudly when their team won the competition. Two, Carrie danced. How can you dance? Happily, quickly, happily, happily. I listened. I listened. Yes, quickly to the bus stop. Clearly on this carefully while my trainer explained how to use the gym equipment. probably. So this is the answer. Victor saw the bus and ran bus. So this is easy. The woman shouted when a man took her bag. Write your name and address clearly on this piece of paper. Okay, complete the text with these words: canteen, cheered, happily, prom, quickly. You know these words. I'm finishing high school this year. We had the party to celebrate the end of school. We have we had our prom, I think. Prom is a kind of party at the end of the school year. Students usually dance. How can you dance? You can dance happily at parties, but I don't because I feel silly. However, I wanted to surprise my friends, so I attended a few dance classes without telling them. On Saturday evening, I dressed up and got ready. My friends and I went to the party together. There was lots of food and soft drinks in the school canteen, and the band was playing great music in the school hall. When they played my favorite song, I stood up. Where are you going? One of my friends asked. Watch this, I said, and I ran. I ran quickly to the dance floor. I started dancing, and all my friends looked at me when the song finished. All my friends, oh, so cheered loudly. Bravo. Complete the second sentences so that they mean the same as the first sentences. Use comparative forms. The old school buildings aren't modern. The new school building is very modern. The new school building is more modern than the old school buildings. Carla talks quietly. Her sister talks very quietly. Carla's sister talks. You have to compare quietly, more quietly than Carla. Dad's old job was well paid. His new job is also well paid. So Dad's new job is, yes, as well paid as the same. When something is the same, you can use as. Maria writes clearly. His brother doesn't write very clearly. So Mario's brother doesn't write, brother, as, clearly as, doesn't write. This end of the pool is shallow, not deep, shallow. The other end of the pool is deep, shallow and deep, shallow, deep for water we use, not tall and short. The other end of the pool is, yes, the other end of the pool is deeper than this end of the pool. Okay, look at the pictures and complete the second sentences so that they mean the same as the first sentences. So use so that such that. Aunt Laura stopped gardening because she was very tired. Aunt Laura was so tired that she stopped gardening. Faith finished the exam quickly because all the questions were easy. The questions were so easy that Faye finished the exam quickly. John stayed in bed because he had a bad cold. A bad cold. So John had such a bad cold that a cold, such a bad cold, such, not so. Don't forget, he stayed in bed. Yes, let's go on. Read the text and choose the correct answers. Student life in the UK. Student life in the UK, in other countries, the same as student life in the UK. That doesn't mean that it is than in the UK. Than, better. You should use comparative form, not as good as. Okay, then. It's just different. Here are a few of the differences. Children are usually 5 years old when they start school in the UK. They are children in Finland too. They are mm, younger, young children. You can say both. Anyway, let's choose one of them. They are young children. I'm not sure. Not that one. Younger. No, younger than. They're younger. Oh, anyway, they are younger children in than younger than children in the UK. The students, the children in the UK. Okay, sorry for that. They are the children in the UK mean they are younger than children in Finland, for example, who don't start school until they are 7 years old. Okay, three. Let's look at three. The school day in the UK is usually 7 hours long. That isn't Taiwan, which is 10 hours long. 7, 10. As late as that isn't. No. Later than, no. Isn't. That isn't. Tricky questions. Sorry. That isn't. Sorry. We did as long as. Sorry, the third one. I've given the answer for the fourth one. That's why it's wrong. Okay. Fourth one. The fourth one. Lesson start, then in Taiwan, and they finish. Start earlier. No, later. Later than. Yes, later than in Taiwan, and they finish. They finish earlier. Earlier than they do in Taiwan. In England, 16 to 17-year-old students usually studied 3 subjects, while in Germany, students often study 5 subjects in Germany. What about student life in your country? Is it easier or yes, more difficult than student life in the UK. Sorry for this. Okay, let's go back. We have finished this one. Yes, everything is finished. Thank you for listening to me. The lesson is over. See you in the next lesson. Bye.